Guys, welcome back to Precision Rifle Network. Joel here. Today is an ammo test. What we've got is a 6.5 Grendel made by Alexander Arms. We've got a Maven CRS-3. This is the 4-20x50, brand new optic up here for me. KGM can up on front. The gun is old, I guess. I mean, I've had it for quite a while. But what we're testing today is the ammo. And this is the Hornady V-Match 6.5 Grendel 100 grain. ELDVT. So what I've got in it now is the Hornady Black 123 grain that we're just going to get on paper down there at 100 yards. See how that shoots for comparison's sake. And then we're going to tune it in with the 100 grain. And then I've also got a target out here at about 500 yards for you guys today. So here we go. First shots, 123 grain. Well, not first shots. I actually mounted it to the tripod. Took one shot to see that I was on paper so that I could make my scope adjustments. So I did that. Now we're going for 3-shot group. Or 5, whatever I've got in there, I can't remember. Holding that center upper dot. Actually, I'm gonna hold direct center. Here we go. All right, there's a 5-shot group for you guys. First 2 were great, and then they kind of fell away. We're probably looking at an inch to inch and a quarter group down there, something like that. That is actually what I have come to expect out of the 123 grain black from Hornady. But we're gonna actually switch it up to the 100 grain and zero everything in now so that we can get this thing dialed in and stretch it out for you. I'm gonna get some chronograph data, all the things. Here we go. So one thing I did want to show you guys is how to zero these turrets back out. And it's super simple, it's toolless, and it's pretty close. I'm gonna have to adjust it again after I get the 100 grain through there. Basically, you hold the lower portion of the turret itself, you unscrew the top cap like that, you just pick it up, return it to 0, and retighten the top, and you're good to go. We'll figure out the zero stop after a while, if it has one. I actually don't know, I haven't looked it up yet. So far, man, the clicks feel good, glass is good. Yeah, good to go. All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and get our Garmin Zero set up here, already attached to the rifle, obviously. Rifle supersonic, good to go on that. Let's get our ammo, 100 grain ELDVT put in here. We'll take 5 shots. We'll adjust everything. 100 yards. So through the target camera there, I believe that I'm actually going to go for the smaller 1-inch dot that is on the right-hand side of the target. Okay, that doesn't look too bad. About a 1 MOA group. And let's see what our chronograph data says for us here. Standard deviation of 9.6, extreme spread of 29. So out of a gas gun for something that I will probably never use past 500 yards, pretty great. Now let me just make it completely clear. The 6.5 Grendel is capable, if you're just shooting targets, it's capable all the way out to 1,000 and probably beyond if you're just looking to plink. No issues whatsoever with the 6.5 Grendel being a good long-range cartridge. But out of a, 18-inch barreled AR type rifle, it's got its limitations when it comes to hunting. So for me, if I was going to shoot deer, just based on energy level alone, I probably would never use this cartridge past, a couple hundred yards. For coyotes, I don't really care as much if I just wound those guys. They're going to die anyway. I know, I'm that guy. But I would probably take shots out to 300, maybe even 400 yards on a coyote with this type of a rig, which is what I intend to use this ammo and this setup for. That's going to be good enough for what I need. So I'm gonna make small adjustments to my scope zero here, and next we're gonna see if we can hit that target out there at 500 yards for y'all. My thought process on this, just to confirm what I'm kind of doing, is zeroing at 100 yards and then having an AR type precision rifle that's capable of taking small game, varmints, that sort of thing, maybe out to 400, maybe a max of 500 yards if it's a coyote or something like that. So I've got a target out here at 500, steel target. I've got one of the Hornady flashers on there, so you should easily see the flasher go off through the target camera if I get a shot. I've got all my dope, as best as I know it, punched into the Kestrel. This is calling for 3 mils at 500. So we're gonna go ahead and dial on 3 mils. We have a switchy 5 to 7 mile an hour wind coming from straight behind me. Sometimes it's 5 o'clock, sometimes it's 7 o'clock. I'm going with right in the middle. I'm gonna hold straight up. Yeah, I was just gonna say, it looks like we've got an infinity setting kind of early on in our dial here for the Maven, which we do. It goes to about 500 yards and then we get our infinity symbol. So 500 to infinity, whatever, doesn't really matter. Don't have a level on this gun, so that's a little bit of a downside. We're gonna go about 15 power here. See if we get it on our first attempt. Here we go. Okay, I was just off left, I believe. I'm gonna take another shot just on the right edge. Our wind down there is right to left. Good impact. I had to hold 5/10 of right wind. We're going to try that again. Good hits. No trouble. Pulled that one off to the right. I rushed it. Very capable. I'm actually going to drive down and review the footage, one of the two. Try to see exactly where I'm hitting on that in terms of my elevation. The elevation seems good from what I can tell just by the little bit of graying that's going on that yellow target down there. My windage was slightly off. I think my wind call was good initially. I actually had the rifle canted and I don't have a level on here at all. And I didn't realize it. And of course, that's just a bonehead move, right? Like if you're shooting long range, cant matters 100%, especially on a, you know, average to smallish target like that. I'll take you guys down range and we'll take a look at that target real quick. And then we'll come back and we'll just close this thing out with final thoughts about the scope and about the 100 grain ELDVT ammo. All right, guys, well, now that I'm down here, I can see that I was actually hitting all kind of low here. These shots here is kind of my group. And that's, you know, 1 MOA basically here at, you know, roughly, I'll try to measure it for you guys, but just by eye and experience, that's about a 5-inch group at 500 yards. That's what I would expect. It seems consistent. I was holding basically waterline. I ended up, you know, a 1/10 or 2 low. I'll have to just adjust that in the scope and then we'll have it trued up in terms of the data, hopefully. I imagine the BC is off a little bit. The muzzle velocity should be okay since we chronographed that, but as you can see, so I was holding just, you know, 5/10 of wind to the center of the plate and I was actually hitting right down here. So I was canted a little bit that I didn't realize until later. Still, my wind call ended up being just a little bit off. So, oh, I see a PMAG over there in the ground. Somebody must have dropped and just left. Bonus, I'll grab that. So, yeah, a little bit low. We'll adjust up and we need to get a level on it. But other than that, the target's looking pretty good. I'm happy with that. Let's go up and take a look at the 100-yard target next. All right, guys, hopefully you can see this. I'll try to crop in for you. My very first shot at 100 yards, I fired off of my tripod with the 123 grain just to see how close to center I was, since I had just put that Maven optic onto that rifle. And that shot went right here. So I marked that off, all right? And then you saw I put a 5-shot group down here with the 123 grain Hornady Black. And that ended up going right here. I'll go ahead and pop that group size up on the screen for you so that you can see that. And then we went down here with our 100 grain varmint load. And it's a match grade ammo, so I would expect it to shoot a little bit better. And it did. This is actually, it looks like 4 shots. There's actually 2 shots in this hole here. And so that is all inside of an inch is my guess, an inch or slightly better here at 100 yards. And I'll put that measurement up on the screen for you. And if you happen to be watching this video and you live in this area and you're the kind of guy that puts all that trash up there on the hillside that you guys can see back there and then leaves it, you guys are the scourge of the earth. You ruin these areas for people that want to use them. The government comes in and they go, oh, the hunters, shooters, sportsmen, they must not appreciate the ground that we offer to them. So then they shut them down. Or they raise our taxes in order to clean them up. You guys are idiots. Clean up after yourselves so that I don't have to take all this crap home in my personal vehicle today. Soapbox rant over. All right, guys, well, I just wanted to throw this in here as a shout out to Sokek Solutions, S-O-K-E-K Solutions out of Missouri. They sent me this little gamer plate stabilization guy that attaches to the bottom of Arca Swiss. They sent it over for me for review some time ago. I think I posted some pictures on Instagram, but I thought I'd just show you kind of how this works real quick. So I'm going to shoot off the tripod. We've still got our 6.5 Grendel. We're still going to be shooting at 500 yards. Just kind of want to show you how this mounts and what it would be used for. We're going to use this tripod here and this bag on top as kind of an improvised barricade that you might find in any PRS type match or any positional shooting you might find in the field. So here we go. See if we get our impacts. Just got a little thumb screw here on the side. Attaches to your Arca and of course allows you to then lay your gun down flat onto a surface like this and have it balanced nicely. Pretty great. Gotta ditch the glasses here. Our dope for 5 was 3 mils. All right, squared up behind. All I'm doing is putting a little bit of downward pressure here, and I'm using the grip to slightly pull into my shoulder. Impact. 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 Malfunction. Weird, had a dead trigger there. Let's go again. Now that I've broken my cheek weld. Ooh, and I missed just left. Impact. Okay. Switchy wind, no fun, but hopefully that gives you an idea of kind of what that sort of a plate is used for. This one, again, just shout out to Sokek Solutions. They're out of Missouri. You can easily find them on Facebook or the Gram. Just finishing up, I guess, with my final thoughts today. So that round, the 100 grain versus the 123, it got me about an extra 100 feet per second out of this rifle, switching to the 100 grain match grade ammo from Hornady versus the Hornady Black 123 grain. So I will definitely take that, especially when it comes to a varmint type of round, which is what I hope to use this for. So the ammo is good to go through this Alexander Arms kind of complete rifle. I didn't build it. It came from Alexander Arms exactly like you see it. 18-inch barrel, just all the things straight from their factory. They make good Grendels. They actually are the designer of the Grendel cartridge, in case you didn't know that. So I would expect it to run well out of their gun. We got that slightly sub MOA group out of it with that Hornady ammo. Out of a gas gun, dudes, I'm taking that all day long. So that's good to go. First thoughts on the Maven CRS .3. This is their 4-20 by 50 in mil. I'll give you my downside first, and that is that the reticle is in half mil hash marks, half 1, half 2, etc. I really like 2/10 or 0.25. I just feel like for precision work, that's a necessity. Just to me, I love being able to count, to measure things in those 2/10 hash marks. It helps me refine things, especially if I miss a shot or if I'm off the side of the target or something like that. Helps me better get an idea of exactly how many mils of distance off I am. So that's my one main downside. If I had to throw a random downside in there to know you guys that I'm not some kind of a shill for this. Yes, they sent me the scope, but I don't get any money from Maven. I can say whatever I want. But another downside would be that the parallax stops at 500 yards. It doesn't really. It goes to infinity. But I like a parallax that goes, let's say, all the way out to 1,000 yards and also has an infinity. For this kind of a setup, it's perfect because I don't intend to run this rifle past 500 yards ever. So this scope, if it were to live on this rifle, is perfect for this kind of a situation. You might throw this scope on a hunting rig in 223 or 243 or even 6.5 Creed. If you're planning on hunting inside of those ethical ranges of, let's say, 600 yards with those calibers, down to whatever. The turrets feel really good. The adjustment for magnification ring feels really good. Like, again, some of them can be too tight, some can be too loose and sloppy to where they move too easily. All of these are perfect. They feel perfect. I love the different colored anodizing that Maven puts onto their optics, with the gray up here and the orange tab on top. Just love it. The turrets feel really good. They sound very positive. Just all in all, a very good optic, in my opinion. Very little lacking in the way of the glass. It has what you need for these types of realistic distances. It's bright, it's clear. I'm able to get it adjusted just right. It looks good. I don't have anything bad to say about the glass. And it was super easy to zero. I love that toolless re-zeroing of the turrets after you've gotten your zero. All in all, great scope, great rifle, good new ammo. Happy to be set up here with a good hunting rig or a varmint rig. Guys, thanks for watching Precision Rifle Network today. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more great videos coming up.